Hello everyone, this is the Light School Nashara campus. It's our chemistry class for 9th. Today's topic is atomic radii. It is atomic size. It is actually the periodicity of properties, the subtopic of periodicity of properties. So first of all, I would like you all to know that what periodicity of properties is, because that is quite important, right? So periodicity of properties. Okay, what is periodicity? Periodicity is the repetition of some properties at regular interval. What does it mean? It means that suppose we are having our periodic table. This is the periodic table. Let it be the periodic table. What happens that the element in the periodic table here, your elements are, all of the elements are metals. So when you go through it, there are almost, after an interval of 8 elements, the 9th element is again metal. But do I want to say that is, if you look at your book and the periodic table, right? So look over here, this is lithium. Lithium belongs to metal. It's a metal. So count the metals. Atoms, elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th element is now what? That is again a metal. Now look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a metal. Similarly, this fluorine is a halogen, a salt maker. So let's see, where is the next salt maker? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at the 8th element, where is the next? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is bromine, right? Leave the transition metals. So we can take them as periodicity of properties as well, but the actual periodicity of properties belongs to their atomic size and their other physical properties, right? So the first one is atomic size. What we have to look into the periodic table, and you will observe that if in the first group the atomic size increases, then you will see that in the second group, third group, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, all the groups periodic atomic size will increase from top to bottom. So it is the repetition of a property. What is that property? That the atomic size increases from top to bottom, right? So whenever a property is repeated after an interval, we call it periodicity of that property. These properties can be repeated in the group from top to bottom, and they can be repeated in the period from left to right too. Okay, so our first topic is atomic size. And the size of an atom, as we all know, that atom is invisible. We cannot see an atom with our ordinary eyes. So it's very difficult to measure the size of an atom, but yet we do measure it in the units of angstroms, in the units of nanometer. Nanometer means 10 raised to power minus 9. This means 0.000. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So these many meters. So look here. This is 0.0000001 meter. That is the size of an atom. Yet we can also count it in the picometer unit, and the picometer is 10 raised to power minus 12. Okay. So it was about the units of the atomic size, but yet what other thing which we should know, that is that the atomic size changes. If the atom is isolated atom means it have not bonded with any other thing. For example, it's sodium in its neutral form. So its atomic radius, atomic size will be different as compared to its atomic size in a compound, sodium chloride. Probably in this case it is bigger, and then in this case it becomes smaller, or probably in this case it is smaller, and then while making a compound it becomes small. So you always have to keep in mind that if an atom is in isolated form, in a separate form, in alone, then we say that it will have a separate atomic size, whereas if it makes or if it combines with any other element or atom, then its size changes, right? So here we call it atomic radius, but when it combines with other element, if that is that makes an ionic compound, so we say it as ionic radius, or if it is a covalent compound, in case of as the case of hydrogen gas is, so we call it a covalent compound or covalent radii, right? So we have different types of atomic sizes, but atomic size is always measured in the form of radii. Radius, single atom we say radius, whereas for many we say radii. Now we know that the structure of an atom is usually measured as, or is usually visible as a circular, in a circular form like this, right? And then what is the radius? Its radius, suppose it's the nucleus, its radius, its diameter is actually from this end to the other opposite end, passing through its center. This is its center, right? Then from this end to the other end, passing through its center. That's the diameter. But the atomic radius is what? That is from the center to the shell. So if it is only one element, for example, we are talking about hydrogen, so hydrogen has only one shell. This means that the atomic radius for hydrogen will be from the distance between the nucleus, center of nucleus, to the outermost shell, which is which one shell? Shell number 1. But if it's the case of lithium, then in lithium we have 2 shells, right? This is nucleus, is shell number 1 where 2 electrons can be accommodated, and is shell number 2 where only 1 electron is accommodated, because lithium has atomic number of 3. So it's from center of nucleus to what? To the outermost shell. Keep in mind, it's not now the outermost shell, it's the outermost shell. If it's the case of cesium, cesium is the member of group 6, group 1, period 6. Period 6 means how many shells will it have? It will have 6 shells. So see, this is the nucleus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from the center to the end, to the valence shell. Now look here, it was having only 1 shell. So its size, hydrogen is having only 1 shell, its size will be short. Lithium has 2 shells, so its size increases. Then cesium has 6 shells, so its size increases more. So you have to keep in mind that while moving from top to bottom in a period, what happens? The atomic radius increases. And if someone asks you why do atomic radius increases, so you know it very well now that because while moving from top to bottom in a period, we know that number of shell increases. The more shells increases, the more their size increases, right? Okay. So now what is the case? The case is atomic radius is directly proportional to number of shells. The more there are shells, the more will be its atomic radius. Okay, so this means that the lower elements of the periodic table, which will be here, are the largest of the periodic table as compared to other elements. So the largest element of the periodic table is cesium because it is lowermost and is in the first group, right? Okay. Now let's see what happens while moving from left to right in a group, which is known as trends in periods. Trends in periods. Look here in your book on page number 74. You will see that the atomic radii of lithium is 1.23. Right? 1.23. Now coming to beryllium, this is 0.89. So it has been decreased, lowered. Then boron 0.80. So it's lowered. Carbon 0.77. Again lowered than boron. For nitrogen, it's 0.74, lower than carbon. Oxygen, 0.74, but it will be in points, then it will be less as compared to nitrogen. Probably it's 0.742 and it's 0.741. It is, fluorine is 0.72. Again lower than oxygen, and neon is 0.51. So it is continuously decreasing from left to right in the second period. Look at the third period. First, second, third. This is the third period. Sodium, it's 1.35. Magnesium 1.36. That is because of certain reason. The reason will be shared with you in the coming points. Aluminium is 1.25. It is decreased. Silicon 1.17, lowered. Phosphorus 1.10, more lowered. Sulfur 1.04, more lowered. Chlorine 0.99, more lowered. Argon 0.8, so it's again lowered. So from left to right, majority of the atomic radii decreases, right? Here in the first period there is 0.37, whereas helium is 0.49, so it's wrong. The atomic radii of helium is 0.32, so it's less as compared to 0.37. Now, can anyone suggest what could be the reason for it? The reason for moving from left to right is that while we move from left to right, that is, the number of electron increases. Number of electron increases, whereas number of shell remains same. You always have to keep this thing in your mind. Number of shell remains same. Whereas while moving from top to bottom, number of electrons remains same in valence shell, or number of valence electrons remains same, whereas number of shells increases. What I want to say, see, we are just drawing first three periods. This is, suppose it's your group 1, this is your group 2 except hydrogen, and this is your group 3. I have skipped the transition metals, right? Group 1A, 2A and 3A. Period 1, period 2, and let it be period 3. So what I said from left to right, number of electrons increases and number of shell remains same. This is, if it is first period, so only one shell will be here. This is the nucleus. Its nucleus, there will be one shell. Again its nucleus, there will be one shell. Suppose its nucleus, it's having one shell, right? So in this one shell there will be one electron. Whereas in the second period, this is the nucleus. It's 2a. This means how many electrons will be in 2a? 2 electrons in the outermost shell. So when the number of electron increases, the number of protons increases. If electron is 1, so proton will be 1, right? If the electrons are 2, then protons will be also 2. So what do you think? Where will be the nuclear charge more? Where is more attraction to the nucleus? Obviously, more protons will attract more electrons. So when the electrons are attracted by the nucleus, so the shell would be stretched towards the center. So it becomes shorted. The atomic radii is then short. Now in the third period, there are 3 shells in the valence shell, and the period is 1. This means that there is only 1 shell, right? And the number of electrons will be increased. So when there are 3 electrons, this means there will be 3 protons, and these 3 protons will have much power over the electrons. So what you have to keep in mind, that the more protons will have more power. Power for what? Power to attract electrons. And when the electrons are attracted, the nucleus size would be, the shell size would become shrinked. So shell is usually shrinked, right? So from left to right, number of shell remains same, but their size decreases. Then for group 4, there are 4 electrons. This means that the number of shell is the same, 1, but the electrons increasement will cause the shell size to be more smaller. Similarly, come towards group 5. There are now 5 electrons, so it becomes more shorted, right? And 6, in the 6th case, there will be 6 electrons, so the atomic radius is becoming more shortened. And then in your 7th group, you have a very small minute atom. And this is actually fluorine, which is the smallest element of the periodic table, fluorine, which is mentioned on, right? Okay, now coming down, what we said, period 2. This means there would be how many shells? This is nucleus, so 2 shells would be here. 1 and 2. It's 3, so this means how many shells would be here? 3 shells would be here. Whereas in period 4, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4 shells will be here. So coming from top to bottom, atomic radii increases, whereas going from left to right, the atomic radii decreases. And what is the reason? The reason for this is that while moving from left to right, the atomic radii decreases because of the increasing of nuclear charge. When there is more nuclear charge, it will pull the electrons towards its center, and so the shell decreases. Whereas when there is less nuclear charge, here if you look, that is the nuclear charge becomes less. Here the nuclear charge is more, that's why it's close. But then when the electron, or when this size increases, nuclear charge automatically decreases. So when nuclear charge decreases, we'll say what happened? The size increased. Atomic radii. Now look towards covalent radii. What is covalent radii? So when the elements or atoms combine together, they form a compound. So if the compound is covalent, that is, they have made the compound by sharing the electron only, so we say it is a covalent compound, right? So the atoms in a covalent compound have different radii as compared to the atomic radii. How is it different? Initially, what we were supposing, we were just taking the element A from center to its valence shell. But in this case now, first you have to find out the diameter. So what we were saying that the diameter is from this point to this point passing through the center. But for the case of covalent radii, The diameter is not from this end to this end. It will be from the center of nucleus to the other nucleus of one atom to the nucleus of other atom, or from the center of one atom to the center of other atom is your covalent diameter, right? So look here, that is from this nucleus of A to nucleus of B is your diameter. And then what is radii? Radii is always to divide diameter by 2. So that is d by 2. First you have to find out their diameter, center to center, and then you have to divide that by 2, right? So the nuclei, automatically the radii becomes, that is half of the first element or half of the second atom, but it is then shortened or increased or decreased from it. So come and see on your page number 76. The examples of halogens have been provided to you. It's first member of first period, fluorine, member of second period, first period, second period, third period, and fourth period. This means that coming from top to bottom. Yes, right? Coming from top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how we have to observe it now? We will observe it like this is fluorine, then it is chlorine, then it is bromine, and then it is iodine. So let's see, from top to bottom we said atomic radii increases. So do covalent radii also increases from top to bottom? Okay, look here. So the diameter or the bond length, it's also known as the bond length. The diameter or the bond length for fluorine is 143. So when we divide it by 2, we will get 72 picometer, which is its covalent radii. Then coming to chlorine gas, chlorine, 2 atoms combined together, 199 picometer is its diameter. So when we divide it by 2, we get approximately 100 picometer. So it's 72 picometer. Then we got as 100. So it has increased. Then in case of bromine, 228 is the diameter or the bond length. So 114 is its divisible after the result of dividing by 2. Right? So it's its covalent diameter, that is 114. And then coming towards iodine, we get 133 as its covalent radii. So what is the case? The case is that covalent radii also increases from top to bottom. And what would be the reason? The reason is that the radius increases. Why is the radius increases? That is because of increasing number of shells and the decreasing power or lessening power of nuclear attraction, right? Hopefully you got all the major points. And now what you have to do, you have to read from page number 73 to page number 76 carefully, and wherever you find anything difficult, so you have to ask in your Google Classroom or in your comment bar or your WhatsApp group. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye bye.